Nifty.Show.
Hey, bonjour, mes amis. Welcome to the Nifty Show. Joel Comm here, parlez-vous a little français, partially because my guest here today is from France, but he will speak in the English. And we are going to talk all about tokenizing physical assets into NFTs. This is a space that Sir Lord Travis and I have talked about for some time, and there are some really interesting complications that arise when you issue a physical good with an NFT. But apparently, according to Courtyardio, which is where we find our guest, Nicolas le Jeune, he is the CEO, founder. What's your role, Nick?
CEO and founder. Great
Yes,
to be here on the show. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. The website is courtyard.io. And clearly you saw a problem in the NFT space. So talk a little bit about that problem and how you intend to solve it.
Definitely. So we saw NFTs as like this boom of NFTs as a lot of different application, right? And when you think of NFTs as kind of ownership of a digital asset, why wouldn't that ownership be associated with a physical asset, right? And so there's a lot of friction of trading physical goods and like especially collectible goods. So I like to give the example of let's say you have a $20,000 watch and you're trying to sell it, and you go on eBay and you're trying to sell it. Probably nobody's going to buy it because you don't have experience selling on eBay. You don't have like the credibility. People don't know it's a fake one or if it's a real one. And so because of that, you go to like a third party dealer, which usually takes a pretty high cut and only sells that asset within their own network or their own country. And so we really saw like NFTs and blockchain as a way of like removing all those friction for trading assets, and so that's why we're trying to build that, and we're building that for like that layer on the blockchain to bridge between physical and digital, essentially.
So when we talk about physical assets, what kinds of categories come to mind that you think are the easiest to implement this? Are we talking about artwork, watches? What are we thinking about here?
Definitely. So art is the first one that comes to mind, right? But like the challenge with art is a few things. Like it's very difficult to price, and it's like the conditions for storing them are much more like you need like humidity conditions, you need like lightning conditions, and so on. And so it's a bit more difficult to focus on that first. So that's why we started with graded trading cards. So cards are small, easy to store. They usually graded with a company called there's different grading organization like Beckett's or PSA that allows for like authentication of those cards as well. So this is why we started with cards, but then we're going to move to like watches, sneakers, and a lot of different types of collectibles, whatever people collect. And you would be surprised to see how many random collections people come to me with. Would it be like I collect knives or I collect stamps, or there's so many random things that I'm learning that people collect actually.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, it looks like Sir Lord Travis has shown up in the house, and Trav, we're talking all about tokenizing physical assets into NFTs, something that we've been on about for a while. Say hi to Nico.
Hey, Travis.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm actually trying to collect Mexican internet. So I finally collected a little sliver, and here I am. So, yeah, interesting stuff. So, what's the process to validate the thing you have is original before you make it an NFT? So, I got something I want to put on the blockchain, but maybe I got that bag in China and it wasn't real. I mean, how do you verify it?
Exactly. So this is why our approach is right now. So we actually took we actually raised like some money. We took some loans to buy physical asset from trusted dealer first. I think like the goal long term is to allow users to ship their collectible to us, and we would like a StockX verify like the authenticity based on different categories. But in order to do that, right now we're working hard on like building partnership with like authentication companies to allow us to making sure everything we put on the platform is an actual physical asset that's like a graded asset and so on. So another layer of security right now with cards is the grading, because all those cards are graded and have an ID, and so you can actually track it back to the website of the grader and see like from the serial number and so on that is an actual card.
So the website, Courtyard.io, it looks like you guys are going to be doing stuff on Polygon, but I see Brinks on here. So are they like the official transport partner of any physical goods that have value?
So it's a very interesting story. So when we started, we were like, hey, we're just gonna get like a warehouse, like put the stuff, insure them, and we actually contacted a few insurance company to just insure the stuff, right? And we talked to collector and like, hey, if we lose it or if it breaks, like we'll pay you back. And the first answer we got was like, I don't care if you pay me back. This is my stuff. Like this is my collectible. Like I care about it. Like you don't lose it. And so we realized how security is so key for like making it successful. It's all about trust and security, right? And so we did a partnership with Brinks, which is the leading, if people don't know, it's the leading security company in the world for storing like gold from central banks, transporting cash, and so on. So they're really like a big brand name for security in the security space, right? Like usually when you see an armored truck on the street, it's likely Brinks. And they also have operations in like 150 plus country, which gives us like this scale for like redeeming the asset. And so we went ahead and did like a partnership with them in terms of like storing. So everything regarding asset storing and asset storing and like securing the assets and insurance is based on Brinks essentially. So Brinks is handling everything. Yeah.
That's fascinating because I know that's one of the challenges for me. Like I have a couple of very, very rare baseball cards, and I'm like, and the couple of them are in pristine condition that are probably worth, you know, I don't know. One of them is probably worth about 20 grand, if not way more, if it's graded as high as I think it could be. But I don't want to ship it to Beckett. I don't want to ship it to PSA. I'm a little concerned about that. So that is one element that you covered that makes a whole lot of sense.
And there goes that Mexican internet on Travis right there. Beautiful freeze frame of him, though. I was hoping for something a little, crazier from him. He is right. When you've got these, high value items, it's scary about where you sending them. And so you guys have some basic information here on the website of exactly, what it is you're doing. But it looks like you're also, as of today, our recording date, which is March the 10th. By the time this airs, you'll have started this drop. What is this drop that we're looking at?
Definitely. So we wanted to prove the technology. So our technology is essentially securing physical asset and creating an NFT that's a redeemable voucher. So if you own the NFT, you can trade it on OpenSea or any other platform, or you can at any point in time come to us, burn the NFT, and we would ship you the asset globally in exchange for the NFT. So we just want to make that bridge between the two. And you know that if you have an NFT that's a Courtyard NFT, there is an actual asset behind it. And at any point in time, you can redeem the actual asset in exchange for the NFT. But the asset makes it much more, it makes it a much more liquid asset now, because you can trade that NFT from New York to Japan to Guatemala to Mexico within seconds. And it kind of helps like removing any friction you have from like shipping, making sure that it's an authentified collectible at every single step and paying that transaction fee at every time. And so in order to prove the technology, we thought of a lot of ways, right? But we cannot just go to like a big brand and say like, hey, use our technology, because why would they trust us? Like we're a new startup, right? And so we went ahead and literally bought from trusted dealer $500,000 of Pokemon cards, so graded Pokemon cards of varying values. Some cards are upwards of like $30,000, and we wanted to recreate an NFT drop physically backed. And so we spent a lot of time curating all those cards. And if you go like on our Twitter or Discord, you can see what it looks like. But we created like this really cool 3D model of the card, where from a pictures we can get like this super cool 3D model. And people get a pack, they don't know what's in the pack. Everybody pays the same mint price, which is the average price of what we bought it for. And we're going to create a reveal experience, kind of like a NBA Top Shot experience, where so if you look down here, you see what the card looks like. So this is one of the card part of the drop. Like this one is like a $15,000 card, for instance. And you might get lucky and mint that card, or you might like it's kind of recreating the NFT drop physically backed, essentially. And
this is really cool. So wait, let's say, what ownership do you then have if you mint this card. It's not full ownership. It's
So if you have that NFT, you can come at any point in time to us, burn the NFT. Of course, we would need to do like a KYC process to make sure like you are who
right.
you are. We would then burn the NFT and ship you the card to the desired destination you would be.
Okay, so it's not even
essentially.
fractional. If you have
It's
the
not even
NFT
fractional. It's
you're
one to
holding,
one.
you get this. So, and there's 800 of these in the drop. Is that
For
total?
this drop. So we're going to do more drops. Actually, the second drop, I can announce it here. We're probably going to do basketball cards. But we're going to do different types of drops just to put asset on the platform. And it's going to be very interesting, right? Because we don't know how the market will, it's a new type of NFT. So we don't know how the market will price those NFTs. We believe that it's going to be worth more than the asset itself, just because there is maybe like 10,000 Charizard cards on eBay, but there might be like a few of them as an NFT that's redeemable, right? At the same time, you can trade it much faster, that Charizard. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the market is going to price those. And now I'm looking forward for communities to build around, like, imagine like Charizard owners Discord group where you need to be verified to have that. Like, as you see with like communities of collectors, you could have like those pockets of communities that really connect together based on that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it evolves.
So, what other things, what do you see as the next step? What's going to happen after trading cards?
Definitely. So our goal is to do like a few drops of different categories. So trading cards is the most obvious. So we're going to do like basketball cards, baseball cards, and so on. We also want to start partnering with brands to offer that solution as a service. Like you can think of like tokenization as a service, or like think of like Unisocks as a service, kind of, where we could partner with like bigger brands to create like a shoe or a watch that's only for NFTs. They would do a drop of that asset, ship everything to Brinks directly. So you would have like, I don't know, 10,000 shoes shipped to Brinks directly. You would have an NFT that you mint as a drop. And people who actually want the real asset would need to burn it and get the asset shipped to them actually. And so it would be a whole, like, if you burn the asset, if you burn the NFT, you don't have the asset anymore. But what this will allow is for brands to capture on the secondhand market, right? Because those brands right now, if they sell like a very hype shoe or a very hype watch, like a Rolex resells for like twice the price of what Rolex sell it for, right? And so those brands don't capture the secondhand market. But here the beauty is we can code inside the NFT that at every transaction we would give back a percentage of royalty to the brand, right? And so this is a new way of like a trading, and it all comes from, as long as you know you can get the asset at home, you don't need to have it at home, right?
Nice.
And instead of leaving it in your basement or in a vault in the bank, now you can actually show it to the world. You can connect with other people, and you can do a lot of things on top that we will build afterwards.
Yeah, you could put it up in the metaverse and show it
Exactly.
off to everybody. So I just joined the Discord and encourage you guys, if this is of interest to you, to do so as well. The website again, Courtyard.io. You can read all the info here. Courtyard provides the infrastructure to securely tokenize physical assets into NFTs. Nico, thanks for coming on today and sharing with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
And it was so nice to have Trav, jump in here for just a hot minute. But where he is in Mexico, the bandwidth is not great. That's okay. We soldier on. He had an opportunity to ask a great question. And he'll be back. He'll be back. I promise you he'll be back. And Zach will be back. And I'll be back. And we'll see you on the next episode. So keep it nifty.
Looking into the future, what do we see? It's lined with digital collectibles, we call them NFTs. Games, trading cards, digital art, and those crypto kitties. Joel and Zach are the hosts, you'll know. Joel and Zach say this will blow. They're locked and loaded, so ready, set, go! It's the Nifty, really kind of spiffy.